Would you like to know what's worse than no listing?
This is your first day in real estate, and I am your real estate sales trainer and coach, James Festini. And this is the program that's going to teach you how to sell more real estate in less time.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I am your host, James Festini, and I want to share with you today some insights that I'm gaining as I'm out there in the real estate world, trying to find my way in the world. Making my way in the world today takes everything I got. There's an increase in the expireds, and I'm watching the properties that are not selling have a common denominator. I'm noticing in my particular demographic, and see, this is going to be different for each region, but you're going to want to look at something in your MLS. Go into your MLS system and see this. What are the homes the last 30 days, 60 days, 90 days? What are the homes that have sold recently? Which ones are successfully closing escrow and which ones are not? And target those. Now, it's very hard to say, well, I'm going to target an area with high turnover, because if you're doing what I'm doing, it's going to be hard. I knock on 100 doors a day, and if you tell me target an area with high turnover, what's that? 1,000 houses, 2,000 houses? I would blow through that neighborhood in less than 20 days and I wouldn't have anything left. So it's kind of different for me. If you don't knock as many doors as I knock, then yes, of course, target an area with high turnover, make that your farm, remain consistent, do whatever you can to dominate that farm. But then again, you may never get it. But one of the things that I did notice in the MLS recently is that the houses that are above 1 million are not selling. Not that they're not selling, it's just that they're a majority of the expired listings. And maybe that's because I'm in an area where there's a lot of $1 million listings, but the ones that are under $1 million, I just don't see very many expireds that are under $1 million. So what does that tell me? That tells me I should be targeting neighborhoods of homes under $1 million. That I shouldn't even bother door knocking the $1 million price point, because even if I did get a listing, the odds are increasing nowadays that they're not selling. The bigger luxury items, they take longer to sell. They cost more to sell. And then what? 6 months? Sure, you could get a paycheck in 6 months for $1 million listing. Let's say it's $40,000, $50,000 in commission. Or you can get a $600,000 or $500,000 listing, sell 2 or 3 of those, and actually get paid. Now, it all depends. How much money do you need now, and can you wait for a paycheck? If you can wait a year for a paycheck, if you have enough in your pipeline or in your bank account, let's say it costs you $10,000 to survive a month, and you've got $150,000 in your bank account, you don't have to make a penny in your career in real estate for 15 months, provided there's no, trauma or tragedy that costs you $30,000, $40,000. Then you're going to be in trouble, because now you got trauma, tragedy, and you're, losing money. So what I recommend is that you start looking in your MLS in particular and seeing what are the variations there. It's really hard to target a market, for me in particular, to go into a marketplace and say, here are the houses that may or may not be more likely to sell. These are the areas with higher turnover. These are the areas with less competition. Oh, this area is saturated with this agent, that agent. I don't worry about any of that stuff. I am worried, though, about the price point. I can safely worry about the price point. What homes are selling. Not what demographic, not what geographic is selling. Price point. Price is what's selling. So if there's a price point in your region that's selling more often, then target those things. It's okay. You don't have to go for the big money ones. I came into this territory looking for the $1 million listings. That was my game, right? I was sick of getting all these smaller ones, 300, 400, 500,000 in my previous territory, where now the smaller ones are 650, 700, 800. Those are the smaller ones. So I'm really making an effort to target those by the doors and knocking on doors for homes that might be under 900,000, preferably 650 to 700,000, because I know those are money in the bank, quick money, easy money. All of my listings, it's kind of interesting and fun and good and kind of scary sometimes that I don't have any inventory often at all lately. Where before, in my previous region, or in my previous territory, where I was like the big cheese, I would have 5, 10, 15 listings under my belt. I don't want listings. I would rather have 0 listings and 5 transactions. I would actually rather have 0 listings and 1 sale. I don't want that. But look at it this way. What if you have 10 listings? That's potential. A listing that doesn't sell. And then having a listing that doesn't sell where you are constantly catering and bowing down to the seller. Every time the seller jumps, you're like, is this high enough? You're already jumping. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning, they're texting you, responding, because you're like, oh, it's my only listing. And yet it's not selling. So you have like this double grinding in your gut that says, oh my gosh, I don't even know if it's going to sell. And now I'm having to like work twice as hard for something. And I've had that happen many times. I just had it happen last month. I had a seller who I was really, really, really working hard to sell. I knew it was slightly overpriced, and I also knew that there was you're in this business long enough, trust me. I knew when I listed this individual, I knew that they were going to cancel. How's that? Even though they said that they were gung-ho, that they were ready to go, super motivated, they give me all the words of encouragement. I can't wait for this to happen. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. There was always this thing in the back of my head that says no. And I'm not talking law of attraction. I couldn't have manifested that thing to sell. You just get this feeling like these people something's off. I have over 1,000 transactions and probably throwing another 200 expireds on top of that. So I've 200 or 300 failed transactions. I'm probably well over 1,500 signatures on contracts. That might be more, right? I've historically been able to excite homeowners into wanting to sell their house. Kind of a bad, good influence, right? I get them excited to do it, and then when I leave, the excitement wears off, and I'm like, oh boy, what are we gonna do? So now it's like I'm almost very cautious when I get these listings. So what do you got to do? You're gonna work the expired list. You're gonna work the for sale by owner list. Absolutely, you're gonna work those. But again, going back to those expireds, you're looking at the MLS to find out what are the homes that are failing to sell. And now, are they the low-hanging fruit? Are they the best option? When a home failed to sell, that it did not sell, now they're somehow a great lead? They didn't sell for a reason. Find out that reason, and when you find out that reason, you might be able to identify whether or not that is a lead. Oh, no doubt about it. I absolutely call the expireds. People ask me all the time, James, do you call the expireds? Yeah. There's 3 expireds this morning. So it takes 20 seconds for about 4 rings of their telephone. 20, 40, 60. I dialed them and I move on. Within 60 seconds, yes, I dialed it. You're asking me a question about an activity that takes me 60 seconds. It's like, James, do you eat breakfast? Yeah, what? It's automatic, right? How long does it take? It doesn't matter. I just go through it. It's just a default. Yes, of course I go through them. They are a lower hanging fruit, but you got to understand that it might not be ripe. It might be over ripened. Find out their motivation, find out the intention, find out what their expectation was when they decided to sell, and how has that changed before you decide whether or not they are actually something there. But absolutely take a double look at your MLS. Go through and grab those old expireds. Go through and grab the new expireds and go through there and just say, you know what, I'm going to target these people. Make a game of it and say, you know what, I'm going to look in here and I'm going to find all the top expireds and I'm going to call down the line and find out, are they worth it? Do you have a lead? Find out, are they selling or are they not? That's my biggest piece of advice, is just find out if what you think you're soliciting, because you might think to yourself, oh, I'd love to have this neighborhood, only to find out that that particular model or style or even neighborhood or that box that you've been trying to sell is the most likely never to sell. That you might be working very hard on a product that isn't selling. I would be working very hard to get the $1 million listings only to find out they're not selling. The number one agent in this town, actually the top 3 agents in my region really work on those listings to sell them. They really hustle that $1 million listing market. But hey, I would much rather sell one $1 million house than 2 $500,000 houses, right? Who wouldn't? Same contract, same paperwork. But if they're just not selling, I'd rather sell much more of the sellable. So find out what's sellable. Look into it. You might be surprised. And hey, in the comments below, let me know if that advice actually helped you when you go into your MLS and look at the history and see. All you got to do is look and grab all of the recent expireds and look at the price point and see right in the center. It's like in mine, I grab them all and it'll be from 600 to, I don't know, 1.5, 2 million. But you'll find out that there's a massive skew where right at about the 30 or 20% down that list begins the $1 million properties, meaning that like a quarter of the expireds are lower end properties, and that the other 3/4 is the $1 million property when your average price point is $1 million, but everything over that is 1.2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3 million. You might not want to pay attention to those. Anyhow, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Go to patreon.com/James Festini and sign up. It's $1, $2. I'm here for your entertainment purposes, but I hope I'm bringing you value. If I'm not bringing you value, then why are you watching, man? There's so many other channels. But if I'm providing value, pay it forward.
This episode is brought to you by MojoSells.com, expireds for sell by owners and prospecting solutions along with DNC compliance. It is my CRM of choice because I can set up emails and letters and follow-up campaigns to follow up more efficiently with the leads that I generate. Go to MojoSells.com and make sure you tell them Festini sent you. Want more knowledge? Please find me anywhere you consume content. On YouTube, go to James Festini. If you want to listen to my content on iTunes, please leave me a 5-star review. Join the Festini Mafia at jamesfestini.com/training. There you'll find all of my products and information. If you like to make money, get back to work.